Hi, and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Karen.
And I'm Wesley.
Today is August 5th, and we're on page 16 in your magazines. And today we're going to talk about some extreme travel.
那我们今天要谈一些极限旅游。
And you'll know right away what we're talking about when you hear the title. It is, Which Pole is Colder?
好，那我们的中文标题是南极 vs 北极，究竟哪边比较冷？好，我把它念成 vs， 因为那是很多人在中文的时候大家是念 vs 哈，
Right.
但事实上这个英文其实应该是念 versus.
Let's address that right away. The pronunciation in English is versus, like Wesley said. It is a Latin word which means against. It does not mean and. Some people think it means 以及 and. It doesn't. It means against. It's from Latin. And how do we write it? How we pronounce it is one thing, but how we write it is also important. In English, it is V-S period. Don't put the period in the middle. It is not V period S. A student said, well, it's the middle letters that are missing. Why don't we put the period there? I go, no. In English, abbreviations have the period at the end. So remember, VS 小小 VS period is versus.
好，那要注意的是这个字啊，它的拼法是 versus 啊，但是你把它写成 vs 的时候呢，那是一个缩写，所以你要在 s 的后面打一个缩写点。那特别要注意 v 后面不要打点，好，你不要觉得这个明明就是头字母 v 跟尾字母 s 缩成的，好，所以中间的应该用个点给它代表一下，不用啊，因为英文的习惯呢，就是一个字缩写的时候，那个缩写点是打在字的尾巴。
Right. For example, Mr. is a capital M-R period. The letters we've omitted are in the middle, but the period goes at the end.
Yeah, 像 M-R 这个一点 Mr 啊，那个一样 Mr 那个点是打在 R 的后面。
Okay, again, our title is Which Pole is Colder? Now, I have to add one more thing to this because as a Minnesotan, who moved away from that very cold place, I don't care which one is colder. I'm not going to either one. Do you have any urge to go visit either one?
Actually, I do.
You do? You'd like to go?
Yeah, I've never experienced coldness like that.
That would be extreme travel. You're actually okay with cold. I remember you really enjoyed your trip to Alaska.
Yeah, I'm okay with cold. Yeah.
That's because you did not live in it for 20 years.
I'm sure.
You ask any Minnesotan. Mm-hmm. And I actually have a friend who lived in Taiwan, loved it, but moved back for retirement. And she still says, oh my gosh, it is snowing in April. Why did I come back?
所以这个 Karen 老师他来自于明尼苏达州，那非常冷啊，美国的明尼苏达州非常冷啊，所以他这个在很冷的地方住过20年之后呢，他觉得台湾的天气真是好啊。那这个他还谈到说，他有一个朋友呢，这也是住在台湾，可是后来退休了，回美国去了，回到家乡明尼苏达州，然后呢就会抱怨说，哎呀，才4月就还在下雪呀，
已经4月了，不是才，
已经4月了，还在下雪啊，真的是受不了。
And that's nothing， 那不算什么。Last year, previous year, it snowed in June. 6月雪
，6月还在下，哇哦。
So no, it's not for me. My father complained in the same way every Minnesotan has. So I am not attracted to cold places, but if you don't go there often, I think if you're a really adventurous traveler, it might appeal to you.
Well, maybe I wouldn't go that far, huh? Maybe somewhere with snow is good enough for me to experience.
Go visit Alaska again. Actually, Alaska, I think, is not as bad as Minnesota because they have the ocean.
Oh, yeah. Good
Minnesota
idea.
is just, okay. Anyway, we're going to talk now about which pole is colder, the North Pole or the South Pole. And here's our article. You've decided that for your next holiday, you want to go somewhere extreme, preferably to a place none of your friends has visited. With that criterion in mind, you start thinking of the most remote spots in the world. After careful consideration, you decide that the North Pole and the South Pole both fit the bill. After all, it's hard to get up close and personal with polar bears in the Arctic and penguins in Antarctica. However, you're not sure about the extreme climate, so you decide to pick the warmer of the two. But which one is that? A quick glance at the average temperatures of the two poles provides a clear answer. The North Pole is warmer than the South Pole. The average summertime temperature of the Arctic is a quite manageable 0 degrees Celsius, while the summer temperature in Antarctica is a rather bitter minus 28 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, the mean winter temperatures in the North and South Pole are minus 40 degrees Celsius and minus 76 degrees Celsius, respectively. What accounts for the difference? It comes down to the specifics of each region. The Arctic is mainly ocean with a little bit of land and quite a bit of ice. The abundance of ocean water, the water temperature being near or above freezing, helps keep the air temperature relatively warm. Meanwhile, Antarctica is mountainous land and is covered in a thick ice sheet. This creates a barrier between the air and the warmer water. Strong winds and low precipitation add to the cold. Furthermore, the blinding white snow reflects the sunlight and any warmth it would offer. Now you know which place you should go for your next holiday. Remember to find someone to go with you and show them this useful information. Well, I think that's a pretty good standard against which to judge which one to go to, the one that is not quite so bitterly cold. Because bitter cold is really, really 难受.
Okay.
Yeah, when it gets cold, your eyelashes freeze, your nose, the insides of your nose freezes.
Ooh.
Yeah, when it gets really cold, things can fall off like your nose and your fingers when it gets cold enough. You do not want to be in extreme cold very long.
Yeah.
If you do go there, you have to be extremely well prepared. And I remember that for sometimes people who ride these dog sleds in the north, they have to eat whole sticks of butter. Just whole sticks of butter to keep up enough, give themselves enough calories to have the energy to survive the cold.
Wow.
So it's very, very extreme. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Which pole is colder? What's a pole?
Pole 就是一个棒子的一端。
Right.
Yeah.
Or 是一个杆子 is a pole, right?
Yeah.
Like pole fishing is 垂钓. So pole 是杆子. So, but here we are talking about 北极和南极这两个之间 which one is colder?
好，所以这个 pole 在这里就因为这个不管是 North Pole 还是 South Pole 都是 pole 这个字在里面，所以我们这里就直接用这个 pole， 哪一个 pole 是比较冷的？
Right, and the adjective is polar, and that's where we get the name for the animal polar bear.
好，那这个形容词就是 polar 哈，那所以北极熊就是 polar bear 哈。不过大家记得 polar bear 它的重音在前面啊，不要念 polar bear， 那听起来很奇怪。
It does. It's really weird. All right, our first sentence. You've decided that for your next holiday, you want to go somewhere extreme, preferably to a place none of your friends has visited.
好，所以你决定了你的下一次度假 for your next holiday， 你想要去 somewhere extreme 哈，那因为 extreme 是形容词，但是因为 somewhere 它的形容词是放在它的后面的哈，什么 nowhere, anywhere, somewhere 啊 anything, nothing， 它们的形容词都放后面的，所以 extreme 放在 somewhere 的后面。
Because it really is short for somewhere which is very extreme.
因为这个事实上它是中间省略 which is 所以这种结构呢是 somewhere which is extreme 所以 somewhere 特别是这样用的那 extreme 是极端的所以你想要去某个极端的地方，那光这样子我们可能还不太确定是什么样的极端那但是他接下来呢他继续说等下一句会讲了，但接下来他再讲给你更多的讯息。他说什么极端呢 preferably preferably 这个字呢就是如果能够选的话最好是怎么样 ideally 或者是 by preference 你比较喜欢，或者是 if one had a choice 就如果你能选的话最好是什么最好是能够去一个地方，这个地方怎么样 that none of your friends has visited 你没有朋友曾经去过。
And watch the use of the present perfect. None of your friends has visited this place. In Chinese, 没有人去过. You have 过 in Chinese. It often matches up to the present perfect in English.
Yeah, 中文的过常常在英文里面就是用完成式尤其常常是用现在完成式，所以没有去过这个在英文里面就是要用现在完成式这个所以你的朋友都没有人去过 None of your friends has visited.
With that criterion in mind, you start thinking of the most remote spots in the world.
好，那 criterion 就是一个标准就是你用来这个 judge 或者用来 decide 你要 make a decision 或者要 judgment 的时候呢，你要评判的标准
or a 条件
or 条件那这个字呢，这个是单数它的复数呢是 criteria 是 criteria 好，那这个字呢有一些这个 style guide 上面会讲说有一些 native speaker 会直接在 criterion 后面加 s 但是呢这个到目前为止大多数的 native speaker 还是认为那是错误的所以不要那样写。
That's true, but this is really changing a lot. So a lot of these irregular plurals are becoming regular. And even when we are trying to use the correct forms, we often get them wrong. Like we say phenomena instead of phenomenon. 我们就会搞混。那个 phenomenon, phenomena, criterion, criteria 可能会用错。
所以这个现在啊，其实这刚刚 Karen 老师讲说，目前还是这样，但是这个正在快速转变当中，因为大部分的 native speaker 都觉得这有点麻烦，不容易念那么清楚。好，那 none 是单数，哪是复数，所以
It's not that we don't hear it clearly. It's just that 我们可能其中哪一个最常用，那个就会冒出来。
那个就会冒出来。
对。
Yeah. 好，所以注意一下。好，所以当你心里有这样的一个标准，就是你要去 somewhere extreme。那这个时候呢 ，you start thinking of 你就开始想the most remote spots 就是最遥远的 remote 就是 located far away 或者 distant in space， 所以最遥远的 spots 就是一个 location 一个地点 in the world， 你就开始想地球上最遥远的一个地点。
Right, and remote also makes us think of a place that's hard to get at. It's not just far, but it's very hard to get there.
所以 remote 这个字呢，不但是远的意思而且最重要的是在心里面想到的是 hard to get there.
Yeah. After careful consideration, you decide that the North Pole and the South Pole both fit the bill.
好，然后呢，这个 after careful consideration 就是经过仔细考虑之后，那各位好好的这个记得中文经过仔细考虑后，里面还有动词，但是英文呢，其实你就这样讲就好了 ，after careful consideration 就好，都是名词。
Memorize that chunk; it's very useful.
Yeah， 把它记起来因为在这里这个 consider 这个动作不是那么重要所以把它放在名词里面就好然后呢，经过仔细考虑之后 ，after careful consideration you decide that 你决定decide 通常就是经过考虑之后你决定那北极呢？还有南极会怎么样？他们两个都 fit the bill fit the bill 就是 be what is needed 或者是 be good enough for what is required 就是这个合格适合不见得是最棒的，但是可以了，合格所以
符合你的需求。
符合你的需求exactly 所以例如你可以说 What does this place fit the bill for the celebration fit the bill for the celebration 就是我们要庆祝这个地方符合我们需求吗
？All right, next sentence. After all, it's hard to get up close and personal with polar bears in the Arctic and penguins in Antarctica. All right, there's a couple things to watch out for. First of all, to get up close and personal, this is fairly recent, like in the past 30 or 40 years. I don't remember hearing that so much when I was little. So this is a fairly recent popular phrase, I would say. And also, watch out for Antarctica. It's really hard to say. That has been that way ever since I have memory. So Antarctica 很容易省略那个 k. You have to slow down, native speakers too, in order to say it correctly. So Arctic, you may hear that as well. 可能会省略那个 k. But please try to pronounce it. That's the correct way. Arctic. You're going to have to pause a long time after that k. 你不要急, don't be impatient. Arctic. And the harder one is Antarctica. You need that long pause after the K or you'll probably say it wrong.
好，那这里呢，就各位就是要注意一下南北极的这个发音那个 arc 本来音标是 Arctic 但是你如果那个两个都念出来的话，有一点会喘不过气那种感觉。所以第一个字中间那个 k， 你不用把气吐出来，可是你发音的动作要做出来。好，那刚刚 Karen 老师讲说，你那个地方要有一个 pause， 那个 pause 其实是在一个自然的结果，因为你舌头去做那个发 K 那个音的动作，可是没有把气吐出来，这个就需要时间了。那个 pause 就会很正常的一个 pause， 所以各位念这个字的时候呢，就是想象那个 arc 那个可的声音，你去舌头去做那个动作，但是但是把它 hold 住气不要吐出来，然后再念 tick 所以是 Arctic 听不到那个声音，但是呢有一点点 pause。
We can hear it.Yeah,
okay. The native speaker 听得到那个声音，他听得到
We can hear it.
Yeah, 所以还是有那个，因为听得出来你的舌头去做那个发那个音的动作。
因为它会影响母音，从母音就可以判断，然后那个停住的那个动作，那个声还是有声音呢。Yeah, we can hear it. If you don't have it, we notice.
Okay, 好，那这个地方是很 subtle， 就是
No.
对我们来讲，对学英语的人来讲。
I think it's because it's been neglected here.
Yeah, 因为我所谓的 subtle 是因为我没有去注意所以其实那个可那个声音，你动作做出来没有发那个音，可是会影响你的母音，所以 native speaker 其实听得到你那个有没有去做那个动作。
We really notice.
所以会听得出来。 好，那我们再来看这个意义上面的这个 get up close and personal with， 这就是的靠近啊，亲密的，非常近的去看或者接触一个东西啊。所以他说，毕竟啊，你要很亲密的接触这个，或者是很亲近的去看这个 polar bears，
或者距离很近的
呀，距离很近啊，很近去看这个 polar bear 啊，在北极啊那是不容易的，或者是在南极的话呢，你要很近的去看那个 penguins， 那也是不容易的。
Okay. And Arctic is hard to say, but Antarctica is even harder, 因为前面还有个 T 要去处理。Antarctica. You're going to have to practice. Go to Merriam-Webster online and listen to the sound file. Next sentence. However, you're not sure about the extreme climate, so you decide to pick the warmer of the two. Now, that's kind of silly. If you want a warmer place, don't go to the Arctic or the Antarctic.
Yeah. 所以但是呢，你不确定 about the extreme climate 哈，对于呢极端气候你不是那么确定，所以你决定要选这两个之间的 the warmer of the two， 这两个里面比较温暖的那个地方。好，但是怎么样 ？Which one is that？ 到底是哪一个呢
？But it's not 温暖 it's just less bitterly cold. That's all.
Yeah, 那只是没有那么冷而已啊，其实也谈不上温暖。
Okay, but which one is that?
Yeah, 那到底是哪一个呢？
A quick glance at the average temperatures of the two poles provides a clear answer.
好，那这个主词比较长，就是 a quick glance 啊，就是很快的看一下，快速的浏览。glance 就是很快的看啊 ，a hasty or brief look。所以你很快的看一下平均气温 of the two poles， 两个这个南北极的 average temperature 啊，那当然有两个平均气温，所以 temperature 是加 s。好，那这样的一个 quick glance 会动词在 provides 会提供你一个 clear answer， 一个很清楚的答案。
The North Pole is warmer than the South Pole.
哦，北极比南极还要温暖一点。
The average summertime temperature of the Arctic is a quite manageable 0 degrees Celsius, while the summer temperature in Antarctica is a rather bitter minus 28 degrees Celsius, and we usually say it as 28 degrees below 0 Celsius. That's the way we usually say it. It's 5 below, 6 below, 6 below 0 Celsius or Fahrenheit. That's the way we usually say it. I'm just reading it this way because it's a written text.
好，所以这个负28度啊，其实他们比较常见的讲法就是 28， 然后呢，这个degrees below zero， 好，用 below zero 就可以了啊 ，Celsius。
And we're not used to Celsius in America.
OK 啊，美国目前还是用华氏啊。好，所以这个地方讲到说，平均的 summertime temperature 就夏天的温度啊，夏天的平均温度呢，在北极啊是一个quite 相当 manageable， 这还可以应付的一个0度C哈。那这个地方为什么呢？这个用呢？因为这个地方0度C啊，它是有一个特性，有加形容词在这个地方，它是一种 quite manageable， 所以这时候呢，它被个别化了，所以有一个 A 在那边。
In fact, we have those kinds of temperatures in Taipei sometimes in the winter. It gets down to freezing sometimes.
Yeah， 那台北有的时候都会接近这个0度C哈。那台湾当然高山上冬天一定是有0度C的，所以这是还算可以 manageable， 就是 able to be managed 或者 controlled。好，然后呢 while 对比啊，那the summer temperature 就是夏天的温度，在南极呢是 a rather 是相当 bitter 啊 ，bitter 是严峻的 harsh 啊 ，difficult to bear 是相当严峻的一个负28度摄氏。
Okay, it may be bitter and you think unmanageable. No, it's manageable because in Minnesota, one day when I left, it was 40 degrees below 0, and that's the same in Celsius and Fahrenheit. 40 below in Minnesota, I'm telling you.
Wow, 是那明尼苏达州这个 Karen 老师曾经经历过零下40度的低温 ，Yeah.
And it's not so unusual. Okay. Meanwhile, the mean winter temperatures in the North and South Pole are minus 40 degrees Celsius and minus 76 degrees Celsius.Respectively. Now, minus 76, I've never experienced that.
Yeah, 那 mean 在这里就平均的意思 ，average。所以平均的冬天气温在北极和南极呢是负40度和负76度。那 respectively 就是依序个别是，所以先讲北极，那负40度就是北极。那接下来再讲南极，所以负76度就是指南极。
What accounts for the difference?
Accounts for 是解释，好，是什么东西可以解释这两个之间的差距呢
？It comes down to the specifics of each region.
好 ，comes down to 就是
追根究底
啊，追根究底 ，exactly 哈，你弄到最后最重要就是这个东西。那所以呢，追根究底 最后最重要就是 the specifics 就是一些particulars 一些特定的一些这个 details 或者是一个 particular quality， 所以追根究底就是两个地区一些基本的特性。
The Arctic is mainly ocean with a little bit of land and quite a bit of ice.
好，然后呢，这个北极呢主要是海洋，然后有一点点土地，然后呢有相当多的冰。
The abundance of ocean water, the water temperature being near or above freezing, helps keep the air temperature relatively warm.
Abundance 就是丰富，a great amount， 所以 ocean water 这个海水丰富大量的海水，然后呢，他顺便告诉你一个补充讯息，他说这个水温 water temperature 是怎么样 being near or above freezing， 大概差不多的冰点附近，那其实相对来讲是比较这个温暖的，所以这样子呢，他说海水就可以帮忙 keep the air temperature， 让这个空气的气温 relatively warm， 相对的还算温暖。
Meanwhile, Antarctica is mountainous land and is covered in a thick ice sheet.
好，然后呢，同时呢，南极 is mountainous land， 就是多山的土地 ，mountainous 就是多山。然后呢 ，and is covered in， 而且覆盖了怎么样？覆盖在a thick ice sheet， 就是一个冰层一层冰，然后 ice sheet 就是一片的意思。
This creates a barrier between the air and the warmer water.
好，那这个就会产生一个 barrier， 就是一个障碍a natural obstacle obstacle 所以这个就创造了一个障碍在这个中间创造障碍的 the air 空气，还有 the warmer water 在空气跟这个比较温暖的水中间产生的障碍，所以它就没有办法通，所以会比较冷一点。
Strong winds and low precipitation add to the cold.
好，强风 strong winds， 然后呢这个 low precipitation 就是降水不一定是雨雪什么都算是降水露水也算所以 low precipitation 就是这个低降水还有这个强风会 add to the cold， 会让你觉得更冷。
Wind really makes cold unbearable, I can tell you that much. Furthermore, the blinding white snow reflects the sunlight and any warmth it would offer.
好 blinding white snow 或者 blinding snow 是很常见的 collocation， 就是会让你眼睛看不清楚这个让你几乎感觉是盲掉的。好 making one blind or as if blind 这是很常见的。或者像开车的时候你会讲 blinding headlights 就是对方的头灯 headlights 会让你好像看不到，所以这个白白的雪会让你眼睛会觉得好像盲掉一样，那它会 reflect 会反射这个阳光，还有任何阳光可以 offer the warmth any warmth it would offer 那个 it 就是阳光。
Now you know which place you should go for your next holiday.
好，经过这样讨论之后，你现在知道了吧？你下一次度假要去哪里了？
Remember to find someone to go with you and show them this useful information.
这么冷的地方不要自己一个人去找个人跟你一起去，然后把这个资讯跟他分享。
And it is really interesting. I mean, I know a bit about cold, but I didn't know this stuff. It's really interesting, I think. All right, our questions. Number 1. What does fit the bill most likely mean in the first paragraph?
第一段的 fit the bill 最可能的意思是什么呢？
The answer is B. Match certain specifications.
答案是 B， 符合某些标准。
Number 2. What is the key factor that makes the Arctic warmer than the Antarctic?
造成北极比南极暖和的主要因素是什么呢？
The answer is A. The geological features.
答案是 A， 地质的特征。
And number 3. According to the passage, which of the following comparisons is not true?
根据本文，下列哪一个比较是错的？
The answer is C. C says that the North Pole is primarily land and that the South Pole is mostly ocean, and this is not true.
好，答案是 C 因为 C 说北极主要是陆地，南极主要是海洋，其实正好相反，所以这个答案是错的。
Well, enjoy your holiday. Whichever pole you go to, I will not be joining you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.